Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Inkwell Remix. My name is John, and today we're looking at the last two new movie decks from Winterspell, plus a bonus deck from Whispers in the Well that has had a key upgrade. All of these decks are very quick to make, so if you need a movie deck as soon as possible, this is the video for you. Okay, everyone. As I said, these are very quick movie decks to make. So, in contrast to my last two videos where we've been going really deep into the deck and what decisions to make, I'm going to try and do this one much, much faster. And to keep myself on track, I've got a timer here, as you can see, so I'm going to give myself 5 minutes per movie deck to explain it and go through the basics of the deck. Let's see if I can manage it or if I go catastrophically over distance. Okay, then. And go. So, movie number one we're going to have a look at, one of the new Winterspell ones, is The Fox and the Hound. So, as usual, we will go down our franchise list and, oh, it's on T, of course. It's The Fox and the Hound. I always forget that. Done. Now, assuming our usual rules of 3 ink colors, we are extremely limited in what cards we can play because there are, as you see, 18 cards in total for the Fox and the Hound, and that includes the Enchanted Todd, which obviously doesn't count. So we've only got 17 cards to pick from. Now, if we run the colors quickly, we can see there is 1 amber card, nothing in amethyst, 13 emerald, but as I mentioned, down here we have the enchanted, so there's actually only 12 emerald cards in total. 1 ruby, 1 sapphire, and 2 steel. So the short version of this deck is that we have to play both steel cards. And we have to play all 12 of the emerald cards. Because that is the only way that we can play 3 colors and still get to the required amount. And if we don't play the steel, then we're going to have a maximum of 14 cards because we can play the 12 emerald and then 1 from, say, ruby, 1 from sapphire leaves us 4 cards short. So most of the deck is really quick to build. We play all the emerald cards, all the steel cards, and that gives us, as we can see on the right here, 56 cards out of 60. So the only real choice here comes when you decide which of these 3 cards do you want to play. Do you want to play Amber, Ruby, or Sapphire as your third deck? Now, I would say that choosing the Sapphire decision is really easy. Don't do it. Hidden Trap is pretty terrible. I mean, maybe if one day item decks start completely dominating the movie meta, you might want to play Hidden Trap, but no, it's really not worth it. We don't want that. So we're going to ignore Sapphire, which leaves us with 2 decent cards. We've got Widow, sorry, I'm thinking of Pocahontas again, Widow Tweed, Kindly Soul. So 2/8 is a good stat block with 2 lore. Uninkable, not brilliant, but we've only got 4 uninkables so far. We can definitely afford it. And a nice ability. When you play this character, return a character card from your discard to your hand. If the character is named Todd, you may play him for free. That's pretty good. We've got 12 copies of Todd, including a very powerful legendary. So being able to bring him back for free could be quite useful. I'd certainly consider Willow Tweed. Oh, Widow Tweed. Dear oh dear. The other option we can see is Copper on the Scent. 6 inkable this time, which puts him a leg up over the Widow, and an 8/5 with Rush and Reckless. He is even bigger and harder hitting than Maui. And for that reason, this is the card I'd go for. Fox and the Hound generally doesn't challenge an awful lot. It's mostly about questing. So having Copper, who can just come in and knock down almost anything in one hit, I think is quite useful. But it may well be that Widow Tweed is the right play. I've not tested it yet. So if you decide you want to have a go with that instead, by all means do, and let me know in the comments how it works. Okay, 1.5 minutes to go. Let's talk through the deck very quickly. We've got Copper and Todd are our 1-drops. They're just vanilla 1-drops, but they're useful. Dinky. When you play this character, each opponent chooses a character and deals 1 damage to them. 2 lore. He's delicate, but he does a little direct damage. It can be helpful. Well, Squeaks is a 0/4 with evasive. Has its uses. Boomer. When you play this character, exert chosen damage character. So Dinky can help trigger Boomer on curve, a 2/3. Vixie is a very strong character. She's a 3-cost inkable, 1/3 with evasive, and she's 1 ink cheaper to play if you've got Todd. So your best start is 1-drop Todd, and then Vixie for 2 the next turn. We have Chief Season Tracker, a 2/5 with 1 law. Exert him to draw a card as long as someone's been banished. You don't use it a lot, but it's useful if you need it. Big Mama, 3/4 with Ward and 2 law. Solid stats for her cost. Todd Playful Kit is a strong one. Whenever he quests, gain a law, or make a character evasive with 2 law himself. Amor Slade, 6/4 alert, pretty straightforward. Copper shifts for 3 onto Copper Hound Pup, and whenever he quests your character evasive, gain 1 law. Or Big Rush Copper that we just saw, and finally the evasive Todd with Shift 5 and I've said evasive, and during your turn you can ready him. Oh, bother, I'm out of time. I'm going to go a little bit further because we've only got a couple of cards left. Yes, Google, you can stop now. Thank you. So, slightly over our time limit, I'll be quick. We also have Education or Elimination. It's a good song, actually. Draw a card, give one of your characters +1 law and evasive till the start of your next turn, or banish chosen damage character. So again, and Dinky can be very helpful here. He pops in, he does 1 damage, and an Education or Elimination can finish them off. And then finally, we have the location Game Preserve. Never play this on turn 3, or at least not unless the board is completely empty, because you want to be playing this on turn 4, so you can immediately pay that 1 ink, shift an evasive character into it, and then all of a sudden you have an evasive character in an evasive location. And that is a very reliable kind of lore gain. The best game I've had with this deck went turn 1 Todd into turn 2 Vixie. Turn 3, I played Boomer and got a nice big body down. And then turn 4, I played Game Preserve and shifted Vixie into the Game Preserve. And from that point onwards, I was gaining 4 law a turn with absolutely no problems. Okay, that's the very quick rundown of Fox and Hound. Overall, it's very much an aggro deck. It pretty much drops things and quests with them. There's a hefty amount of evasive, Squeaks, Vixie, Todd can be evasive. Copper buffs your evasive characters with extra law, and again, Todd's evasive. So very much an aggro deck. Drop your characters, quest heavily, and you use things like Copper, the basic Todd, and Boomer to just challenge your opponent as much as you need to hold them up. Okay then, I am on 7.5 minutes, so a little bit over time, but I'm going to give myself a pass for that one. And then we can move swiftly on to Pocahontas. Okay then, restarting the countdown, and I couldn't quite do it in 5 minutes last time, so I'll try and be even quicker this time round. I'm not sure it's going to work, but we'll give it a go. So 5 minutes on the clock, starting now. Okay, this time we are looking at Pocahontas. I might be able to find her a bit faster. Where is she? Pocahontas, there we go. Now, Pocahontas only has cards in 3 colors. They are only Amber, Amethyst, and Steel. And there are a grand total of, well, it says 20 cards there, but that's because we're including Epics and Enchanteds, Iconics, in fact. So there's only actually 17 cards that you can play. So, nice and quickly, popping all these in. We'll get all 17 cards in, then come back. Right, Wisdom of Willow, yep. Now, we can't play this version of Grandmother Willow because we've already played the regular. Can't play that copy of Pocahontas because we've got the regular one. So that's 2 of our cards from the 20 down to 18. And then, of course, a bit further down, we've got that beautiful Enchanted Colors of the Wind, but we can't play that either. So here we go. All the Pocahontas cards that exist, that's 17 of them. We've got 68 cards in our deck. And, oh my goodness, 24 uninkables. Which makes the decisions for this deck relatively straightforward. We have to look at uninkables and getting rid of them. First one is Miko. 1/1 evasive, 2 law. If he's exerted in a turn, choose and discard a card or banish him. He's amazing. He's such a good aggro tool. And if you find that you need the cards more, you just banish him or you hold him until you need the quest. So Miko needs to stay. He's very good. Grandmother Willow, likewise. Making all the rest of your characters 1 ink less is amazing. Maybe we can manage 3 copies of her rather than 4. And in fact, let's do that because we can't afford that many uninkables. But we definitely want 3 of her. We want to see 1 every game. Pocahontas Following the Wind, 3/2 with 1 law. Whenever she quests, gain law equal to another chosen exerted character's law. That's amazing. Pocahontas is a very aggro deck, and this is the card that enables it. Importantly, it's not just your characters. You can do it to your opponent. So my wife and I played this against Fox and the Hound yesterday, and Pocahontas was casually questing for 3 every turn because she kept yoinking Vixie's Law, which made a big deal and is well worth it. Right, we jump forward to John Smith, Undaunted Protector, a 3/6 with Bodyguard and a sort of bodyguard for actions and abilities. So he's an interesting card. I do like him, but he's the most expensive one in the deck, and he's uninkable. So again, I think we cut 1 copy, drop him to 3 rather than 4. Now, down here we have Mother's Necklace. It's a nice item. At the end of your turn, if you haven't challenged this turn, and that's the Pocahontas thing, is not challenging, chosen character yours gains evasive till start from next turn. So you can quest, you didn't challenge, become evasive, you don't get attacked back. However, it's not as good as the other cards, and it's uninkable. So we're just going to straight up drop all 4 of those. I don't think there's any other option there. Right, we're down to 62 cards and 18 uninkables. So let's have a look at this last one, Wisdom of the Willow. For the rest of this turn, whenever one of your characters quests, you may draw a card. It's a really good card. I do like it, and it's right at the top of our curve. But again, we can't afford the uninkables. So I would drop this rather than dropping characters. Characters are the way you win a game of Lorcana, particularly with movie decks. So drop that down to 2, and we are done. 60 cards, 16 uninkables, and 1.5 minutes to go. So I'll talk very quickly about the rest of the cards. Thomas is a generic 0/4, Flitz a 0/2, but he moves a damage when you play him. So a little bit of utility, but he's probably my first ink. Miko, I've mentioned, very strong card. I like him for the aggro. Grandmother Willow, we mentioned. John Smith, Snow Tracker. At the end of your turn, if this character is exerted and none of your characters challenge this turn, gain a law. So he keeps going with the don't challenge to get bonuses effect. And a 2/2 law is very good. Pocahontas, we've talked about. Percy, 3 ink, 1/4, can't challenge, got 3 law. You don't care. You don't want to challenge with him. He's just out there to quest every single turn. Pocahontas Finding the Way. Play her. Chosen character gains additional law. Useful because you're going to be questing a lot. And most importantly, a good shift target for the big 5-drop. Chief Powhatan. Vital to the deck. A 5/5 bodyguard that can't challenge. You don't care. He's there to get hit and quest if he survives the first turn. Nakoma. Just a really strong body. 4/6. Good stats. She can come in, take out something if you need to. Finally, there's that legendary Pocahontas, the 3/6 Peacegiver. When you play his character, if you've used Shift and none of your characters challenge, then no one can challenge you until the start of your next turn. I wouldn't look to drop her on 3 because the 2-drop Pocahontas is so good, but she's a finisher. You drop her when you've got 5 or more law on the board, quest out that turn, and then you're safe to do it again next turn and win the game in short order. John Smith. Oh, there we go. A few seconds out. I'll give myself a little bit more time. So John Smith, we mentioned before, that bodyguard who can absorb abilities and actions as well. Quite useful. Wisdom of the Willow, if you've emptied your hand on the board, and you will do that quickly, this is how you refill it. Keep the Ancient Ways isn't great, but we've got to play it. Can't play actions or items till the start from next turn. It could have its uses. If you're playing against Lion King and your opponent's got to 7 ink, then this might be a good way of fending off B-Prep for a turn, or Malicious, Mean and Scary if your opponent's on Tangled. But generally, this one's going to get inked fairly quickly. Then we've got Colours of the Wind. Reveal top card of your deck. Draw a card for each different ink type of cards revealed. You're only ever going to get 1 of this from yourself because you have no multicolored cards. So it's going to draw you 2 to 3 cards every time you play it. It's not bad. For a 4-cost song, it could certainly be worse. And again, we like the card draw. We empty the hand very quickly with this deck. And finally, John Smith's Compass. I used to think this was terrible, and I still don't think it's good, but it's not as bad as I thought it was. At the end of your turn, if a character of yours challenged this turn, banish this item. So again, the whole no challenges thing. I don't like the fact it can banish itself, but you deal with it. Your path. At the end of your turn, if none of your characters challenge this turn, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character with cost 3 or less, or named Pocahontas, you put it in your hand, otherwise, bottom of the deck. I used to think it was 3 or less and named Pocahontas, which would have been terrible. As it is, it's not awful. If we go back to the top of the deck, we can see we've got 12 1-drops, 12 2-drops, and 8 3-drops. So that's, let me see, 32 cards. and then 4 copies of Pocahontas. So potentially 36 cards out of a 60-card deck this compass can find. So when you think of it as a 1 in 2 chance of drawing an extra card every turn, that's pretty decent. It also helps keep your hand full if Miko's on the board, because you can stack John Smith's compass to resolve first, hopefully get your extra card, and then if you need to, throw it away again with Miko. As I said, I've played this one a little bit with my wife. She loves Pocahontas, and this is another very aggressive movie deck. So if you want something that's characterful, fun, and quests like nobody's business, Pocahontas is very much the deck for you. Okay, then, everyone. Our very last deck we're looking at today is Gargoyles. Now, Gargoyles used to be the simplest movie deck of all. There were exactly 15 cards from Gargoyles that you could play. So you played them all, and that was your deck. Done. Now, that's changed just a little bit in Winterspell. They've got 2 new cards. Now, number 1, that gives you options. You can take a couple of bad cards out. And 2, the new cards are really, really good. So, last 5-minute movie deck, I'm going to try and build Gargoyles, and you may notice I've already put the filter in just to try and save myself some time, because I haven't made the target yet. Okay then, ready, steady, go. As I said, only 17 cards available for this deck, so once again, we're going to start by slamming every card in, and then we'll take them out afterwards. We can't play this Demona, because we've played the regular one already. Can't play the promo Eliza. So again, that's why our 20 cards listed at the filter is in fact not what we think it is. And where's the last one? Oh yes, there's the Enchanted Goliath. You can just about see him at the bottom. So that's the last card we can't play. Here we go. That's it. All 17 cards in. We have 68 cards, and unlike Pocahontas, only 8 of them are uninkable, which makes life a lot easier. Now, it's a very stacked deck. First of all, we have no 1-drops, which makes me nervous, but we have limited options. So, Brooklyn, really quite good. Everyone's got Stone by Day, pretty much. If you don't know that rule yet, familiarize yourself with it, learn to hate it, because it's an absolute pain. Hudson, 2/4, Determined Reader might be useful, I'm not sure. Bronx, big 6/4, we like him. Eliza, Intrepid Investigator, when you have other characters with 5 or more power, she gains 2 lore. The Gargoyles have the power. You will be able to do this one, no problem. There's another one. She's transformed to a Gargoyle now. This is one of the new cards, by the way, from Winterspell. And see, a base level rare. Your character's strength can't be reduced below their printed value, and Stone by Day. But she's a 4/4, and she's going to make sure the rest of your characters are always their base strength. Oh, come on. See this card properly. Now, this is the other new Windspell card, and it is a bomb for Gargoyles. A 2/3 doesn't look insane. When you play this character, you may give chosen character Challenger 2 and Resist 2 to the start of the next turn. Okay, that's nice, sure, wins you a combat, but the key bit is her Eternal Night ability. Your Gargoyle characters lose the Stone by Day ability. A friend of mine plays Gargoyles whenever we do this, and he's always annoyed about Stone by Day because Aladdin keeps throwing down, what's it called? A Whole New World, and locking his board down. Angela is going to fix this. He's terribly excited. We want to keep this character. Now, David Xanatos. Villain 3/2. When you play this character, you can choose to discard a card to deal 2 damage. He's not great, but the ability is important. There's almost no direct damage in this deck, so I would play him just for that. Lexington, we all know Lexington. 4/4 with alert. Great stats. You play him for 3. Demona, Betrayer of the Plan. Another one with great stats. Challengers, a 6/6. What can you object to? Goliath, Guardian of Castle Wyvern, 5/5. And if your Guardian's challenge, gain a lore. Gargoyle's challenge. That's really good as well, of course. We keep him. Coldstone, 5/4. When you play this character, you have 2 more Gargoyles in your discard, gaining 2 lore. Maybe. That's one of the ones I'm not certain you'd want to play, honestly. In this deck, a 5/4 for 5 isn't great, and the ability is so-so. Broadway, 4/6 Bodyguard. You love him. Demona, if you don't play Demona, you're a fool. I think the only reason not to play 4 is if you literally don't own 4. And if you don't, beg, borrow, or steal them. She's worth it. Xanatos, Charismatic Leader. I like this one. Whenever one of your characters is banished in your turn, draw a card. We need cards. And whenever he questions, character gains Rush. Also very useful. I think he's well worth playing for. And then the legendary Goliath. Also big, also powerful. Keeps the cards flowing, keeps your opponent's cards down. He's well worth playing. Finally, Grimoire Arcanorum. Whenever opponent's character becomes exerted, gain 1 law. It's good if you've got Demona, but that's the only time it's good, and gains Rush on Demona. I don't think it's great, honestly. Now that we can drop a few cards, I'd certainly consider dropping it. And Castle Wyvern above the clouds, actually pretty good. Challenger 1 and Resist 1 for everyone who's there? That's not bad. Think of it a bit like Hidden Cove in terms of being a buff, and it's worth it, I would say. So we can drop 8 cards, and I've got 1 minute to do it. My first thought is that we drop the Grimoire Arcanorum, just because we can't actually exert that many characters, and we've only got 6 copies of Demona. I just don't think it's great. I would drop those. Play lots and lots of characters. And then exactly what character you drop, probably up to you. Hudson's not amazing, but we need the 2 drops, I think. We've spiked really heavily at 3. So Bronx, we could possibly lose. We could maybe lose a Bronx, lose an Eliza. We could probably lose sort of 1s from our various 3 drops, or maybe just be straightforward about it and just drop Coldstone. I mean, 2 law is nice, but they're big characters. I don't know if it's worth it. I'm going to go with 2 copies of Coldstone gone just to get the ink count down, 1 copy of Bronx, and 1 copy of... Oh, I don't know. Oh, no! Out of time. Right. On 61 cards, I could say it's done there, but I'm going to drop 1 more copy of something. Oh, she wants 5 cost. You're not a 5 cost. I think we'll drop 1 copy of this Eliza as well. And there we go. 60 card Gargoyles deck, built in 5 minutes and about 15 seconds because I dithered too much. As I said, Gargoyles is a very easy deck to build because you've got so few options. Slightly harder than Pocahontas because there's genuinely choices you can make when you're dropping the cards, unlike Pocahontas where you just have to cut uninkables. But it makes for a very brutal deck. Almost everything about the Gargoyles is overstatted. 3-2 evasive, for example. We've got the 6-4 with Reckless for 3 ink. We've got Lexington, the 4-4 with Alert, because of the Stone by Day ability. So Angela is going to be your vital card. You're going to want to get her down quickly and do whatever you can to protect her. Otherwise, just play incredibly big bodies, crush your opponent on the board, and then once you've done that, you can play some of the big lore characters like Demona, like Xanatos, like Broadway even, and just quest happily and laugh while your opponent bounces off your massive stony bodies. Let's save that, because it's a fun deck. Gargoyles movie deck. This one's very aggro. Pretty budget. Oh no, this one's not budget because Demona. But it's definitely aggro. So there we go. We'll save that one. And of course, I will put the link for this and all the other movies we've made in this video down below in the description. Well, there we go, everyone. I didn't quite manage to stick to my time limit for any of the decks. I tried, and I think I built them all in 5 minutes, but actually explaining what they do and how they work took a little bit longer, so hopefully you will forgive me. Regardless, I hope that it was a really useful video for you. These are really enjoyable, really fun decks, and relatively simple to make because of the limited card pools. So if you've got someone who's perhaps interested in getting into movie decks for the first time, or you've just got a lot of cards from the most recent sets, I would absolutely recommend these decks. They're a lot of good fun. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow if you have, and let me know if you try any of the decks for yourself. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time for another Inkwell remix.